Professor Frimpong-Boateng, I thank you so much for agreeing to speak to us on TV3.
Thank you for the invitation.
How have you been? I mean, it's been 4 weeks of a lot of talk about you.
Well, I'm comfortable. I'm not talking. And I believe that we are all doing this in the interest of Ghana.
You mentioned that there's a program to, as it were, restore some lands for cocoa farmers.
Yes.
And then illegal mining.
Yes.
Now we are seeing a lot of the cocoa farmers selling off their farms to Galamsey operators because they say that, look, they are faced with difficulties. I mean, that must concern you. I mean, even though you say there's a program which is in place now, but that is not helping the situation, is it not?
Well, I think it will help with education. You know, the program started just about 2 years ago, or maybe a year ago, was rolled out. And I think it is being executed by MESTI through EPA and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. I believe that with a lot of education, if the farmers are helped, as is being done now, to maintain their cocoa farms, increase yield through the hand pollination and others, they may get a yield that will sustain them. And if they know that they'll keep their cocoa farms and land forever and not degrade, sell the cocoa farms, degrade the land and destroy the land, I think they'll take another decision. So it's all about education, educating the farmers and those who are interested in mining to make sure to educate them on the importance of maintaining the vegetation.
See, I mean, let's go into this Galamsey report. You are then chair of the Interpretation Committee on Illegal Mining. What was the situation with Galamsey in this country when you were given the charge to lead the fight against illegal mining in this country?
I think we agreed that we will not stray into those areas.
We'll go into so much of the detail,
I mean,
but I want to...
We don't have to go to where it started, how it is now. The problem is still there. And when we all work together, I believe that it can be solved. And the president is serious about it. And I know that with
You think the president is committed to fighting illegal mining?
Yes, he has said it. So, I mean...
No, beyond what he said and based on your own experiences with him.
No, what I'm saying is that the problem still persists. And therefore, we should not blame anyone, but sit down and see how we can get rid of this menace. Because we are losing a lot. You know, when I was a kid, we went to the farm, the streams were clean, we could harvest these little snails we called abibia, the founders may call it Prof. I don't know the English name. I don't have to also know the English name. That's what you use here.
Yeah.
And you could get mushrooms, different types of mushrooms, snails, crabs, free of charge. But now it's difficult to get these things. And you see, the point is that human beings are not the only creatures on earth. God created the world for us to maintain and to take care of the others. But it looks as if we are not only not taking good care of ourselves, but we are ignoring the others, neglecting them. That is why, for those of us who have clinics in the rural areas, there's more increasing incidence of fever, malaria, and things in areas where you rarely saw these things.
So you have a clinic in some of the rural communities?
Yes, so you can see
private clinic.
Yes.
Interesting. So you see, Prof, accountability is key.
Yes.
Leadership is also very important in any venture that we get into. Beyond what the president said about putting his presidency on the line to fight corruption, that's illegal mining, based on your own experiences as chair of the Interministerial Mining as Committee on Illegal Mining, would you say that there was enough exhibition of the commitment on the ground beyond the words of the president?
See, I don't have to answer that question. You know, look at the prevailing situation now. It tells you that we still have a lot of work to do. The forest degradation is going on, the rivers are not clean, and so on. We have so many rivers in Ghana, but apart from maybe the water in Afram, all the others have been impacted. Red water, white water, black water, Tano, Pra, Ofin, and the Pra Basin, Tano Basin, Pra Basin. Pra is the biggest basin in Ghana, seriously affected. It tells you that we still have a lot of work to do. And so let our focus be on that, so that we devise means as a country to get rid of this menace that is disturbing us.
Would you say that as chair of the IMCIM, you failed in the fight against illegal mining?
Oh, we didn't fail at all. We did our work very well. And I think, as I said, the past is gone. Let us look ahead into the future and plan a strategy to get rid of this disease that is affecting us.
No, the Forestry Commission CEO has actually admitted that it's difficult for them, even as an institution, to fight the illegal miners effectively because some of them are well resourced. They use ammunition that even the Forestry Commission task force doesn't have. Is this something you encountered on the ground when you went to some of these places?
Well, that is the Forestry Commission, and they are in the forest, so let's take his word. As I said, I don't want to go into what is in that report because it's not meant for public consumption.
It wasn't meant for public consumption?
No, at all.
So then who leaked the report?
I don't know.
You don't know who leaked it?
No. It was leaked after a little over 2 years, I don't know. So let us keep the report. Whether it's been leaked or not, what I wrote was not meant for public consumption.
But it's in the public domain now.
It can remain there, but it's not for me to discuss it.
The details of it
I'm not going to.
It's for public good.
See, you can ask this question 100 times. I'm not going to go into the report.
You give the report to the CID, correct? And to the presidency.
I said, I'm not going to discuss the report. It's not supposed to be for public consumption. The one for me is not for public consumption. The one that has been leaked can remain in the public realm.
But Prof, I'm sure that when you were putting it together, you were thinking of the Ghanaian people and how illegal mining is impacting on the Ghanaian people. Are you concerned that over 2 years since you submitted the report, nothing has been done about the details of it, as far as we know?
As I said, this report is not meant for public consumption. It might have stayed there for 2 years, but now it's known. So it can still be used, although it's 2 years old, some can still be used in the fight against illegal mining.
What were you expecting of the presidency to do after you submitted this report?
Well, it is not up to me to go into that. That is past. 2 years is over.
As you said, the illegal mining is still a threat to our very existence, Prof. So I'm sure you had your own expectations of the presidency when you submitted this report, correct?
I didn't finish telling you about the things that I did as a minister. So
indeed, it goes straight into that. In fact, Prof, the reason why a lot of people are concerned about this is not because of the politics. It's because of the life that we all enjoy as a result of the trees, the forest reserves, and the water bodies, which we depend on to live. And so, yes, we're not going to go into the details of it, but I'm sure that you had your own expectations when you were made to head this committee, and then also the report that you put together. That's why I just wanted to find out.
I still have my ideas and methods as to what can be done. So if a committee is set up or if something is done and I'm called in private or in a committee to expand on my perspective, my ideas, I'll do that. But I don't want to do that in public now.
You see, but the issue is public now, and
yes,
it's of public
I don't
concern.
Want to continue on that trajectory. I mean, the public can discuss it, but I don't want to be seen to be talking about the report and that kind of thing. I'm a very serious person. I want a targeted approach to solving this problem. So if there's a committee and my ideas are still needed and so on, I'm still a Ghanaian and I really want this menace, put aside.
In fact, and that's exactly what we also all want as well. What are some of the challenges, that you face, and, that you think that even if you're put there today, it will still prevent you from achieving some of your objectives. I mean, while you were there.
I was a chairman 2 years ago, and I've articulated all my concerns in that report, and I don't want to go back to discuss it, because all the things that you're asking me is in that report, and that what I wrote is not meant for public consumption, and I believe that the president has ordered some investigations, and let's respect his orders and move on and see how we can bring this under control.
But do you still stand by all the details in that report?
Oh, yes.
You stand by them?
Yes.
Regardless of the defense by some of the people who have been captured in that report, that what you are saying is not true?
No, see, it wasn't an easy thing writing about some of my colleagues. It wasn't easy. But I had to be brutally honest with the president. And that is why I did what I did. So that I probably said, oh, Mr. President, everything is okay, under control, maybe give me time, we're able to do it, write some wishy-washy thing, and then not achieve anything. But I had to be honest with myself, and knowing the president the way he is, he wanted the truth.
True indeed.
And I did that from my point of view.
The former member of parliament for Manson Kwanta constituency, for instance, whom you said that owns multiple dozens of concessions while he was a member of the Minerals Commission Board, sold it out to some individuals for 200,000 cedis each. He says that he doesn't even own even one concession. He's ready to take you on in court.
He's free to do that. I'm waiting for it.
You're waiting for him to go to court?
Yes.
You have evidence to back the fact that he
I'm waiting for him.
concessions.
I'm waiting for him.
The presidency describes this report as a mere hearsay.
I haven't heard that from him.
In fact, it was in a letter, communication to the public about your report.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. I don't know. I haven't read it. I haven't heard it.
You said it's mere hearsay. Do you agree with that?
Are you telling me that, or?
I'm asking you if it was just a mere hearsay.
I don't want to answer that question.
But do you agree to that description of your report that it was a mere hearsay?
No, I don't think I want to answer that question. Let's skip it. I've told you already that I stand by everything that I wrote. So not to answer all the questions that you are trying to pose.
They said you did not provide enough evidence for them to even take action on some of the details of the report.
Fine, fair enough.
But did you attach enough detail, pictures or videos to the report when you submitted it?
I think my report was not to indict anybody, but just to tell the one who asked me to write a report the problems that we face and what I think should be done. It may not be a perfect report, but I stand by everything that I wrote.
There are some who say that this report was put together that way because you were not reappointed.
If I can't change people's opinion. If that's their opinion, that's their view, fine. They can hold on to that.
In fact, Shraj has been petitioned on this report. The Office of Special Prosecutor has invited you as well. You're ready to defend the details of this report before them all.
Why are you pushing so hard on this?
Because the Ghanaian people are interested.
I don't think we're a tired horse. Not a dead horse.
This horse is not tired, Prof. I'm telling you.
From a tired horse.
The horse is not tired. It's still on the run, and that's why people are concerned about this. And I'm asking you this just so that people know how much you are committed to this fight against illegal mining, beyond the politics. That's what I want to establish. Are you with me?
They're all committed. You know, every Ghanaian is committed. But we should show our commitment in the way we act. That's what I would say.
We should show our commitment the way we act. That the actions are not
commitment in terms of verbal commitment and so on, but we should act. And eventually, the final analysis, the state of the water body, the state of the forest, and all these things will tell us whether we are committed or not. We can say anything, we can investigate anything we want, but in the final analysis, we have to look at what is happening on the ground, and then we can take our own decisions.
The likes of Charles Bishu, the chair, that's the secretary to your committee, says that, I mean, you also have questions to answer, that you are not clean yourself.
That is his opinion. He can report me to any investigative agency or SHRAB or whatever they want to do. I'm clean.
You are clean?
Yes.
You have no questions to answer during your tenure as the chair of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining?
If there are any questions, I'm prepared to answer the questions. Bring it on, bring the questions on, they will answer. But as I said, I don't want to go into what people say because you can't change some people's opinion, and let them go ahead. And if Ghanaians will believe them, we'll see.
The presidency sent journalists to his residence at Chebi to show them, like the garden we are in now. In your report, you said that you received a call from one Eric Enchi about activities of illegal mining close to the president's wall, and then part of his garden was affected as well. When they went there, they didn't, well, the videos they showed us, and including the chief of the area, asking that you should come and show them where the illegal mining was taking place.
I think that question should be posed to Eric Enchi. That's what I will say for now on that question. Nothing more. I'm done.
Who is Eric Enchi?
You know him. I've described him and so on. You know. So see, Mr. Galamsey, I don't want to go and quarrel with Nananom elders in Chebi and so on if they say, see, this thing is 3 to 4 years old, and I'm going to quarrel with anybody if they say it didn't happen. Fine, that's their opinion, but I'm saying that it happened. So I'll not. Ghanaians should decide.
And Ghanaians want to know, hear from you.
No, I'm done. I've told you already. The person to answer that question is Eric Enchi.
And Eric Enchi is alive?
Yes, alive.
Beyond the report, what, in your view, seeing
I've told
everything
you that
that's
I'm not
happening,
going to mention anything about this illegal mining in the open, in public. If there's a committee, if there's a body, if there's anything that is working towards, you know, anything, and I'm invited, I'll go there and give my opinion and my views. But it doesn't help, you know, in this talk, you know, going over, you know, these things over and over again.
you talked about the environment and some of the benefits in there. If this continues, what are we doing to our own lives?
Everything we eat, or most of the things that we eat, are from plants. In the fields, in the forest, and so on. So one can say, in a way, that the forest, the plants, are our supermarket. That's where we get our food from. And as we sit here, these plants utilize the carbon dioxide that we breathe out with sunlight, water to grow and to produce their food, the food that we eat, and then give us oxygen that we breathe in. So without the plants and so on, we'll find it difficult getting enough oxygen. And so the plants more or less are our lungs, extension of our lungs. And I also know that at least 25% of drugs that we use in the hospital are plant-based, are from plants, or they are derivatives. Mm-hmm. So I always say that the plants or the forests are our lungs, our pharmacy, and our supermarket. So we can't destroy these three important things. And to show you how important they are, I'll give a few examples. I have a plant there, around that field, the green area, so these pink things.
Right.
What if we can go and get one? It is called the Madagascar periwinkle. That is where Christian Vimblasen, these drugs that cure childhood tumors and other tumors are derived from. We have quinine, which is also from plants. Penicillin is from a mold in the forest. Some of the birth control pills are also from plants. Asthma tablets are from plants. Even things that appear to be dangerous can also help. Now, for example, in South America, there's a snake, a viper called the Botrops jararaca, which kills people by, when it bites you, your blood pressure will drop abruptly and then you die from hypertension. And so the scientists found a chemical in that venom that drops the blood pressure. And based on that, using that as a template, they developed a drug, captopril, which is an ACE inhibitor. And from there, you have lisinopril. And about 1.5 billion people in the world are taking that particular drug. So imagine the amount of money that you can get from that, the venom of that viper. But here, if you remove the forest and so on, you kill them, you lose all these things. But one important thing I want to say is that the trees are not the most important thing in the forest. But in Ghana, we say that, okay, let's clear the forest, we'll do reforestation, we plant trees.
Yeah.
So when you see a tree, a big tree in the forest, you cannot imagine the number and variety of ants, species on that tree, lizards, chameleons, and things like that. And then the birds that nest in the tree, and also animals that are at the base. So you can compare that to what happens to in an earthquake. For example, we saw recently the earthquake in Turkey. Houses were pulled down, people were killed and so on.
Yeah.
And so if you go to a forest with a big machine and you pull down all these trees, it is earthquake happening on a daily basis to all the creatures in the forest. So it tells you what we are losing. We are losing our food, we are losing our pharmacy, we are losing our lungs, and also destroying this entire biodiversity. Earthquake killing all the creatures on that tree. And if you create, the whole field, you cannot estimate the damage that is done. And sometimes you need just a little plant, something that the experts can harvest and create something from it that will be of more value than all the trees that we import we export in Ghana every time. Something small. If you go to Legon, Mampong, the Center for Research into Plant Medicine, this is what they are doing, and they are losing the material that is helping them to do their work.
Based on, your knowledge of forest reserves, for instance, in this country, how threatened are our forest reserves? The extent of threats they are faced by illegal mining and then also the illegal logging as well, which we have not been even focusing on for so long.
Illegal mining is very recent, but illegal logging, clearing for farming, cocoa farm, or palm plantation, as happens in the Far East, in Indonesia, Malaysia, and so on. So there are all these, but the point is that from 1900 to 2000, we lost about 80% of our forest cover. Ghana's area is about 23.8 million hectares. That's about 234,000 square kilometers. And so the forest cover at the time was about 8.4 million hectares. That went down to 1.5 million by 2000. And the rate of deforestation is increasing. In 2010, FAO estimated that we're losing about 354,000 hectares a year. It's more now. And if we look at the rate of reforestation, it doesn't match the deforestation. So you can almost calculate when there will be no forest in Ghana. because all the forest reserves have been impacted. And that is where the Forestry Commission, the Ministry of Natural Resources and so on are working now to halt the deforestation and see what can be done about that area. So yes, we are losing our forest cover, and as I said, it's not the trees, but all the biodiversity in there, which are all important for us as human beings.